Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's wildest music nerd. Time for an album review of the new Wild Flag album. Wild Flag is a rock outfit from Portland, Oregon, which made its full-length debut earlier this month. Now, even though these guys are a new band, their ranks are filled with indie rock veterans. Carrie Brownstein, Mary Timony, Rebecca Cole, Janet Weiss. Between the four of them, they've worked in The Spells, Sleater-Kinney, The Minders, The Go-Betweens, and that's not even like close to the full list of projects that they've been affiliated with. And to me, they are playing indie rock on this album, but it's this really simple, fun, catchy, kind of muscular style of indie rock. It's not this cheap, glossy, pretend happy, like stereotype reinforcing brand of indie rock that gets thrown at us all over the internet. Out of all the groups Wild Flag is affiliated with, I think Sleater-Kinney is going to warrant the most comparisons, especially since Carrie Brownstein is kind of fronting the band. But even though those comparisons will be made, I don't think this album really leaves off where Sleater-Kinney did in 2005 with Woods, which was a really noisy, experimental, kind of emotionally intense album. To me, Wild Flag takes a detour from that intensity and takes just a more scenic route. I think longtime Sleater-Kinney fans will see parallels between this and an older album like Dig Me Out, the faster, catchier tracks from that album. But still, Wild Flag by comparison is noticeably different. To me, the post-punk spirit is here, but none of the sorrow or pain or angst, it's a terrible word, I know, but the angst that fueled some of those Sleater-Kinney LPs just is not here. It shows up a little bit on some of my favorite tracks like Boom, where Carrie Brownstein is singing in this really kind of eccentric, kind of slightly deranged vocal, or even Future Crimes, which is a little upset and a little desperate in a way that I like. But the thing is, for the most part, this album really kind of has no tears to shed. I mean, this album is really in too good of a mood to be depressed or all that self-aware. Wild Flag is writing songs about glass tambourines and electric bands and throwing heys and yeahs and okays and all rights into their lyrics. I could totally see Carrie Brownstein playing these songs live and like doing windmills on her guitar or something. That's how upbeat this album feels to me, even in its most depressing moments. The drums are really sharp and snappy, the bass lines have a lot of spunk, bunk, the organs are kind of quirky and I like that, and the guitar leads are just rough and wild, they just wail. When I first heard this LP, I kind of questioned it because of how simple it is, it's so simple, it's not really all that intricate, but as I listened to it more, I kind of ended up enjoying how free of complications it is. There's no weird, abstract, deeper layer to this album. What you see is what you get. And what you get is just a nice attitude and a group of 10 songs that kind of just want to rock. And there's a nice variety among these songs too. I don't feel like I'm hearing the same song over and over and over. These guys write a group of tracks that land around 2 or 3 minutes, but they could totally just change gears, pull out a 6-minute track like Racehorse with this drum beat and guitar riff that reminds me of Fugazi, and yet it still sounds good. And for the duration of the song, they stay engaging. There's a consistent sound and style on this. The production is pretty good, in my opinion. I feel like the songs that were on that Wild Flag 7-inch that came out earlier this year, that got reworked for this LP, came out pretty good. There were moments like Something Came Over Me that felt a little underwhelming to me, but overall I thought it was a very good debut. But I think some fans are going to look for more from this album, considering who is making it. And I have to admit I did too, a little bit. But still, what's kind of interesting is that all these members in Wild Flag kind of seem to have brought themselves back to square one with this band in a good way, because they're kind of writing and performing as if this is like their first band, almost. All the members of Wild Flag sound really excited to be making this album. They sound really energized. This album feels really fresh. It feels really new. It doesn't feel like the reformation that it actually is to me. So to me, this album is just kind of like an assembly of catchy tracks. It's nothing mind-blowing, but it is solid, it is dependable, and it is admirable. I'm feeling a decent to strong 7 on this, but what do you think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? And what do you think I should review next? Anthony Fantano, Wild Flag, forever.